Hello, everyone. Intermittent fasting. Is it a miracle diet or just a fad? Stay tuned and you will find out. My name is Jason Steves. I'm a nutrition professional at the Nutrition and Health Center, and I'm joined by my co-host Steve Steves, who is a clinical nutritionist and naturopath, founder of the Nutrition and Health Center. And today we're going to be talking about intermittent fasting. If it's something that you should do, if it's good for your health, or is it not? Are there benefits? We'll get into it. So, uh, what is a fad diet? I think that's the first question I kind of want to address because I want to clarify what a fad diet is. And it's simply put, it is something that has been done before and it's gone in and out of popularity. So the intermittent fasting has actually been around quite a long time, and almost as long as the concept of fasting. And the concept of fasting has been around for thousands of years. So it's important to know that intermittent fasting isn't a brand new idea. It's been around for a long time. More recently, it's been labeled intermittent fasting because the medical approaches have tried to use it to help control certain health issues and weight and things like that. And so, but the results vary widely, the methods vary widely. So that's kind of the next question is what is intermittent fasting? And a simple way to define intermittent fasting is time restricted eating. It's pretty much just restricting the amount of time that you eat during the day. Hopefully during the day. We'll get into that. But unfortunately, most people think that if they don't eat breakfast and have their morning coffee, they're intermittent fasting. And so we want to make sure that you understand how to fast in a healthy way. That's what we're going to talk about today. How to fast in a healthy way so that you can actually get most of the benefit out of fasting. And you don't need to be calling it intermittent fasting. You can if you want, but it's not necessary. So that's something that we wanted to clarify for you. Steve, do you have some comments on that, on fad diets and intermittent fasting particularly?
Well, fad diets are going to come and go, as you said, Jason, and we're looking to the ultimate diet, the creator of life, and the one who gave us food. He gave us nutrition for a purpose, and that was God. And we always refer to his scriptures. And I like the whole chapter of Isaiah 58 helps you if you're doing any fasting, if you're focusing on a particular reason that you're fasting, and most people are doing it for weight loss. Unfortunately, the starvation of calories is a mistake
Hmm.
for weight loss. Now, if you're a gluttonous eater and you're eating way over your basal metabolic rate, the calories that you burn in 24 hours in your metabolism at rest, calories are units of energy. They are not your enemy. So to have that mentality that many people do about food, oh, their calories, well, we want the right calories, the food calories that provide vitality, energy, and that give you the ability to then burn more. And with that burning, it's an interesting concept. You know this well because of exercise when you're more active because you eat calories, and goodness gracious, the athletes know they cannot go into any kind of athletic event without good caloric intake in order for the body to make and burn energy. So if you want to be a high performance individual in your life, maybe it's to be a mom or a grandmother and have the energy with your grandkids. I like to stay fit because I like to throw frisbee with the grandkids. I
Hmm.
like to throw a football. Just the other day with Levi and Lily and Luca, we bought basketballs and a new football, and we were out there shooting hoops and throwing the football. And I want to do that for many years to come.
Yeah.
So, but I can't do that with on a diet of starvation,
Right. Right.
of
Yeah.
constantly fasting. So I fast usually about 1 day a week, and it's similar to an intermittent fast. I'll usually go till afternoon on just liquids, juices, and so forth, herb teas, and lots of water. I drink a lot of barley grass that's dehydrated,
Hmm.
and it really alkalizes and energizes. But I make sure during that time that I'm pretty isolated, and that, in fact, I did it yesterday, that I'm isolated from people and I can relax and let the body heal and not have to focus because the brain uses a lot of sugar. And when you don't have carbohydrates in your bloodstream and you're trying to focus during the day, you're going to lose a lot of that brain energy if you're doing a lot of fasting,
Right.
intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
So a lot of the negative things with intermittent fasting is the people that do it almost on a daily basis, they usually use some kind of stimulant in the morning to keep them
Hmm.
going. And that pushes your adrenals, and you've got a certain amount of adrenal reserve, endocrine hormone reserve to produce all these energy hormones, fight or flight hormones for survival. But you're not just surviving, we want to thrive. And so if you're pushing the survival button on the body every day, that survival mechanism is going to go into what they call burnout. And then you crash and burn, and severe calamities can occur as a result. And we don't want that. We want to be able to have this nice, smooth, even amount of energy throughout the day. But the morning time certainly is the time where the body does generate a lot more high energy neurotransmitters, neurohormones. And we want to keep that system that generates those hormones and neurotransmitters, keep it as strong as possible so it'll last you throughout the day and a long life
Right.
to come.
Yeah, so we've had people that have come in who have been doing intermittent fasting, and a lot of times they are some things off in their system, whether it's digestion or their energy is up and down. There's a lot of times when people are doing intermittent fasting, there's some things that are off. And when we share with them the importance of eating first thing in the morning for brain energy. Sometimes it's actually that's true. Sometimes it's mood issues or focus issues that they're having during the day.
Yes,
And
will be.
that's something that can happen. So there are, as you mentioned, there are benefits to intermittent fasting. And again, what we would say is there are benefits to fasting. But if you do it in a good way, if you do it in a correct way where ideally you do maybe 1 day a week of either juice fasting or water fasting with some mineral support. That's something that can be beneficial to help create a more sensitive cell that brings in the sugars a lot more readily. That's something that can be really beneficial. And that can help with your metabolism. It can help with your body's ability to balance blood sugar, to have balanced energy. Obviously, that day you're wanting to be low key, as you mentioned, but that's something that can be beneficial for your health. But doing a stimulating every morning and avoiding breakfast and not eating till mid-morning or lunch, that has a lot of negative effects for brain function if you're doing that consistently, like daily.
Yeah, many of them do don't eat
Right.
till afternoon, evening.
And they're doing it daily.
Yeah.
And that's really where the problem comes in because they're not well nourished and their brain and their body is in a stress state. And so therefore it throws things off because the body's alarmed because it's not getting nourished, but it's still doing activity. And so,
I'll say,
yeah.
Jason, that when I see these people that have been doing intermittent fasting, the one greatest thing I notice is they're in a state of sarcopenia where they've lost
Mm,
muscle mass.
mhm.
They haven't, without adequate nourishment of your proteins, carbohydrates, and fatty acids, you need proteins to keep structure in order. Of course, carbohydrates provide phytonutrients to help as antioxidants and do a number of metabolic processes, and then the fatty acids for hormone signaling. All of those are key, and we need them in certain quantities. And
Yeah.
that's why the fatty acids were called essential fatty acids, and the amino acid proteins, certain ones, so there's nine, but these are your nine essential amino acids, and we need to get them from our diet. If we don't, something metabolically
Yeah.
goes awry.
Right.
And we want to avoid that. We want to nourish, and God has given us such an abundance of food, especially in America. It is such a blessing to have at your fingertips fresh fruits and vegetables when you go into the marketplace and farmers markets everywhere, which we encourage people to buy more from farmers markets. It is more costly, but it's healthier food that's grown locally, and you're going to get better results in your health as a byproduct of that. But also choosing these foods, then the marketplace will provide those foods.
Yeah.
What we do with
Right.
our money is what drives the system. And I would encourage less processed food. Certainly, we are in the middle of an ultra processed food era, and we need to get away from that with whole foods in the right amounts. And then you can I didn't feel I could comfortably fast before. I would fast and I was a wreck. Now I know how to fast because I'm healthier metabolically, and I can fast as much as I would like, but I won't overdo the fasting. I try to follow the biblical model. It was common that Christians would fast 1 day a week. And so I follow that model, and it works really well. You can get some good cleansing in at that time and
Right.
just good mental and spiritual clarity. It's a time for reset. And it's kind of like you're giving the body a Sabbath day,
Right.
when you do a fast like that.
Right. So if you're now viewing our video right now, we're going through intermittent fasting. We've talked previously about what a fad diet is, generally what intermittent fasting is. Are there benefits? What are the downsides? We've gone through these questions previously in the video. There are some benefits to what we would call fasting, and keeping it simple to understanding what fasting is. But daily avoidance of breakfast and having stimulants, that's really where the challenge comes in. And a lot of downsides come from that, where you lose energy and focus later in the day. So we want to encourage people to don't avoid fasting altogether, just learn how to do it in a smart way.
Yeah.
Do you have thought?
You said breakfast, breaking a fast.
Yeah.
We've already fasted 12 hours, and your body is so hungry for nutrients when you get up in the morning. And what people don't do, but the researchers say is most important, the majority of people don't do, is they don't have copious amounts of calories when they get up in the morning. They think somehow this is going to give them that edge for weight loss. But take a look in the mirror, you're still dealing with the weight loss struggles you've always struggled with because you're still living in that lifestyle of starving your body in the morning. Feed it. And then boom, get in the gym. I've already been there. I'm here by the office by 8:30 and I am lit, man. But I couldn't feel this way without, of course, my adrenal, my stress and energy support and my other
Right.
nutrient support, but the nutrients in our metabolic shake that we use in the morning time, right before my workout and then after as I'm driving in, I just feel that energy and vitality. And I
It's
could
good.
go work out a second time today, which I
Yeah.
probably will when I get back home, chasing chickens and
Yeah.
trimming trees and whatever the acreage has for me to do out there. I love doing it.
Right. Yes. So now you might be wondering if you're watching the video and you're kind of like, okay, what do I do then for an ideal way of eating? Our encouragement is to follow a more Mediterranean style of diet. Eating and the timing, that's probably a question. Okay, well, how do I time my eating for ideal weight loss? Well, if we want to maintain steady blood sugar, so our body's system is not stressed, we have balanced stress response. And what happens when we have balanced stress response? We have increased blood flow to our digestive tract. So our metabolism's working better, our digestion's working better, our body's able to more properly get rid of toxins that are
Yeah.
one of the main reasons why we hold on to weight.
Well, and the gut
And so,
brain. How about nourishing the
yeah,
gut brain, the enteric nervous system that you make most of your calming neurotransmitters? If you're struggling with anxiety, nervousness, depression, mood swings, the issue is mostly in the gut. Feed the gut those nourishments,
right.
and then you'll get that serotonin GABA response. Of course, it's always good to get those checked. I would like to offer a 10% off on our neurotransmitter test for the viewers. The neurotransmitter test is
Okay.
a urine test. It measures levels of serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, phenylalanine, GABA, glutamate, PEA. There's different metabolic neurotransmitters, which are also neurohormones like epinephrine, can tell you multiple different facets about your nervous system and how it's working, whether it's getting well nourished. And every foundational neurotransmitter in the body comes from some form of protein in their diet. And we're just going to find out if you're
Right.
getting enough of those proteins. And you can kind of fill in the gaps, as I've learned through neurotransmitter testing myself years ago, how much support I need for my serotonin, how much I need for my GABA and my glutamate. That we have nutrients to back that up specifically. And this is the functional testing that medical doctors should be doing, but they're not focusing on wellness, regeneration, repair, and restoration. They're focusing on disease and managing that disease condition, which nobody wants. I didn't want that. That's what put me on the quest to be here for you today. Was years ago when I was diagnosed and told I'd be in a wheelchair. I said, "Really? Is that all there is at 25 years of age?" And Jason was going to be born that year. But God drew me into a place of searching, asking, seeking, and knocking. Answers are there. God provides a way where there seems to be no way. And you can find that way too. So I'm going to encourage you guys, get the neurotransmitter test. And folks that have been on the intermittent fasting, they have the lowest neurotransmitter function I've ever seen. Many of them are just flatlined on the report. They're just not getting enough protein amino acids to support their brain, how your brain functions, how your gut functions, and then everything suffers as a result of that. So, folks, learn about your body chemistry. We do the functional testing here at the Nutrition Health Center. Then we provide the protocols that fill in the gaps for the need for repair, for restoration, and watch and see miraculous things happen because you are the miracle. God is just waiting for you to listen to the call, and He'll show you a path that of exceeding and abundance in your health that it's like I can't imagine today. Being able to do the things that we press in together with physical movement,
Hmm.
and it's just such a blessing to look forward to getting older and improving function.
Right. Yeah, so timing with eating to help maintain balanced blood sugar is approximately eating every 3 hours. So, and then as Steve mentioned earlier, breakfast is labeled that way because we're breaking that fast through the night. So we want to eat approximately within an hour of waking up and then eating every 3 hours throughout the day. So that's a very important pattern to help maintain balanced blood sugar, increase your body's ability to detoxify and metabolize so that you have balanced energy, balanced weight. The weight falls off. When you follow a Mediterranean style diet with zero processed foods and you eat every 3 hours, so many of our clients, the weight just falls off
Yeah.
so quickly because their body's detoxifying.
That's going to mean what, 5, 6 meals a day?
Right.
And for most women that are petite, 5'3" is the average height for a woman. You're looking at about a 1,300 calorie menu plan, which tells you when you eat those every 3 hours, you're going to eat 5 times in a day, and each meal will be about anywhere from 250 to 350 calories. And sometimes it'll be lighter, like mid-afternoon. Maybe it's only a couple of hundred calories. That'll get you to about 1,300 for the day. And you will fuel metabolism that turns on the fat burn and it increases the muscle building. And muscle's smaller than fat. Got a picture of it here. So if this was actually real muscle, this size would weigh about 2 pounds. If this was real fat, it would weigh just a pound. So which would you like more weight of? And most people go, I don't want more weight. The focus isn't on losing weight. It's gaining life, which is possessed in the energy production in a muscle tissue. And we measure that in our in-body test. And then getting rid of the toxins storing excess amounts of cellular fat, whether it's in the abdomen, around organs. Folks, it's as simple as that. And you can do those functional tests and watch and see the body restore itself back to health.
Good. So, folks, if you want to do the neurotransmitter testing, Steve mentioned we'll will allow you to get 10% off when you refer to this video. Just mention it to our front desk. When you call the office, the phone number is 281-440-0024. This can be really helpful, as Steve mentioned, to understand what's going on in regard to your body's neurotransmitter function, how well your body may be taking in nutrients, and what you can do to get things in balance. So,
can we also offer, give away the farm, in-body tests, as I mentioned, about measuring your muscle mass? If you haven't been in a while, or those of you who have never maybe done the test, the in-body exam, we're going to offer 10% off on that test. So just come in, get your in-body exam, look at how many calories you burn, and it'll help you understand, okay, I need this amount of calories, meaning energy, because everybody that asks for weight loss also will say on their forms, I need more energy. Well, then calorically, you're in a deficit. So your enemy, again, is not the calories. It's not food. Food is a blessing and so important. It was the very first thing that God told Adam and Eve what to eat after he gave them their commission to go forth, multiply, subdue the earth, take dominion, take authority that I've given you. In Genesis 1:26, and then in 1:29, he tells them what to eat. And so it was important, so important to God to say, all right, I got to work for you to do, but you need to nourish your body and do it all day long. We would always remember Jesus when he said, whenever you eat and drink, do this in remembrance of me. He wanted to remember at every bite of food, at every sip of any drink, not at just a Passover, not every Sunday at church, at every meal. God is present with you. He's in you, and he wants to encourage you. 1 Corinthians 10:31 says it. The kingdom of God is not of eating or drinking, but of righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Spirit. Actually, that's not the right scripture. The one I'm searching for is whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you drink, do it all for the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31. So do that. You are God's temple. He lives in you, and he wants to glorify himself in you.
good. So, folks, if you have questions about intermittent fasting, if you have questions about your health needs, if you're wanting to get on a more tailored, personalized nutrition plan for your health needs to really get your body detoxified and have the weight fall off, contact the Nutrition and Health Center, 281-440-0024. Steve and myself, we develop personalized nutrition plans for our clients, and we help them get better health every day, no matter what the issues are. So if you're having concerns that are related to your diet, your weight, whatever it may be, contact our office. We'll be happy to help you. We can do a free discovery call where you can find out more about what we do and if it's going to work for you. We're open, we're transparent about what we're doing. We're not going to try to trick you into being a client and then you don't know, we're upfront and we allow you to make the decision on what works for you. So contact our office. We'll be happy to help. Number is 281-440-0024. And if you would like to do an in-body test or neurotransmitter testing, just let them know you watched this video and we gave this offer on the video. You can get them for 10% off the next time that you do this test. Actually, the first time that you do this test, if you have not done this test with us before. So this has been good. Intermittent fasting, important topic.
It is.
You could call the phrase intermittent fasting a fad, but fasting is not a fad. Fasting has been something that has been part of life for a long time. It's an important thing to do, but you need to make sure you do it in a wise and smart way so that you can have optimal health for now and for long term. Because that's what we want you to realize is your health is important now. Like how you're feeling now, how you're looking now is important, but how you get there will affect long-term health. If you're trying to cut corners and take chemicals that affect your body's function, that maybe helps you to lose weight quickly, it could affect you in the long run. So try to avoid these these fads, these things that are quick weight loss, and try to do things that actually get results and get results. You can get results quickly if you do things correctly. Sometimes in the first few days or the first couple weeks, it might be slow going because your body changes a little bit and there's some challenges at the beginning. But once you get that momentum after the first few days or after the first couple weeks, it really speeds up. It really speeds up. So you can get fairly quick results following things the right way too. I don't want you to be, thinking that it's just too slow. When you do it right, it works and it can move pretty quickly.
And they're doing it right. If they download the 7 Proven Steps document at prospernutrition.com, you get that free document just to really give you a vision of what it takes to have just this abundant health that we're talking about. And I'd like to close with this. Jesus spoke 2 really powerful scriptures in the gospel about fasting. And one of them was, he said that this one, referring to a very powerful demonic influence that the disciples could not heal, Jesus said, well, this one only comes out by prayer and fasting. Jesus also said that, and when you fast, in Matthew chapter 6. So he knew that there would be fasting after the bridegroom, he left. And we do want to fast for purposes of hearing from God and purifying our bodies as to make them as a living sacrifice. Romans 12:2. May you just be excited today, full of vitality, to make your body a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable and pleasing to God. For this is our reasonable service. Thank you all so much for watching. God bless you.
Thank you all. See us. Stay tuned for next time. We're going to be talking about different diet fads. And so we're going to be addressing, we did a video on the carnivore diet, so check that one out. We did actually a couple. And we talked about if that's something that can be helpful or the dangers with the carnivore diet. So check that video out. If you want to see videos like this, like this video, comment on the video if you have questions or you want some input in different ways. Subscribe to the channel. It'll update you when we have these videos posted, when we're going live. But then feel free to reach out and ask us if you have questions or if you have comments and want more information on a particular topic. We'd be happy to help you.
We'll address it
and address those.
Yeah.
So thank y'all for watching. We'll see you next time. We are committed to helping you achieve abundant health.
Abundant.
So we're a family business here. We're committed. We're here for you. So get in touch with us if you have